and welcome here to Talk Tennis, and welcome here today to the Netflix Slam, because this Sunday at 12:30 p.m. local time, live on Netflix, Rafael Nadal will take on Carlos Alcaraz in Las Vegas in what has been here an eagerly anticipated exhibition clash between the two Spanish stars of tennis, and I for one am genuinely excited about this matchup simply because we don't know how many more times we're going to be able to see it. We don't know what the future is going to hold for us in this season, and that is why today we're going to be looking at the history of Nadal versus Alcaraz. We're going to be giving a prediction today on what we can expect this time around, and also some of the concerns heading into this exhibition ahead of Indian Wells. So let's go through it all today. Let's get excited for this one. Let's do it. Because Rafa and Carlos have indeed met on 3 occasions before. They first met back in 2021 at the Madrid Masters, at a time when Alcaraz was only just emerging onto the tennis scene. Rafa won comfortably on that day, 6-1, 6-2 in straight sets, which very much had the feel of it back then, of master versus apprentice. Alcaraz still learning, still understanding what it takes to make it on the ATP Tour, but it was a very different story just 1 year later in Madrid, because the match there between the two of them went the distance in 2022, and it was actually Alcaraz who came out on top, winning 6-3 in the third. And don't forget, that was the year at the Madrid Masters where Alcaraz beat Rafa in the quarter-final. 1 day later, he beat Djokovic in the semi-final and then went on to beat Zverev in the final. It was an unbelievable run there to the Masters 1000 title, but it was the clash for me in Indian Wells that was the peak of this matchup. This was a match here that had absolutely everything. Again, it went the distance. It was a battle that lasted over 3 hours long, and even the conditions were crazy. There was swirling wind midway through this match, and there was extraordinary rallies between the two of them. You saw the magic of Alcaraz. You saw there the athleticism in his game, the explosiveness about his play, but you also saw the genius that we've seen for so many years on tour from Rafa Nadal. I remember some of the volleys in this match from him. He was imperious coming to the net. It was though he could not be beaten, and he found a way to win it. And it was even more incredible, to be honest, because towards the end of that match in Indian Wells, Rafa actually suffered a pretty serious rib injury that really went on to affect him in the final there against Fritz that year, but somehow against Carlos, he managed to see the match out. And I think it's that kind of matchup, it's the kind of tennis that we saw on that day, and the variety of the tennis too, that makes me really sad, really, that we probably won't see too many more of these exchanges between Rafa, between Carlos. And that is why, like I say, I am grateful, even if this is an exhibition, even if there isn't too much on the line here, to see them both either side of the net once again. It will be a pleasure. But there are concerns, because obviously on the side of Rafael Nadal, 22-time Grand Slam champion, we still don't even know whether this will be his last year on tour. Even Rafa doesn't seem to have made the final decision yet, because obviously throughout his entire career, he's had to battle injuries. His body has really gone through it, all different kinds of injuries too, and over the past year or so, he has really been struggling badly, and he hasn't played competitively since January the 5th, when he actually made his comeback in Brisbane in Australia, beat Thiem and Kubler in impressive straight-set victories, but he then lost in 3 to Jordan Thompson in the quarter-final of that tournament, where he did suffer a micro tear in his hip, and that saw him then suffer a painful withdrawal from the Australian Open, and he hasn't played since. So how will he be on Sunday? But I think the most surprising thing coming into this exhibition here, though, is that the biggest injury concern, it actually comes from Alcaraz and not Nadal here, because after Alcaraz suffered a serious injury scare in Rio just last week during his opening round match there of the tournament, he slipped, rolled his ankle on the clay. Luckily, though, he did avoid anything serious, any lasting damage. But Alcaraz has admitted here that ahead of this exhibition, he will be travelling to Vegas on Friday, but he's not really going to have the chance to practice too much ahead of it. He won't be returning in lots of time ahead of this one, which is not ideal. Preparation for him has not been so good. There's been questions here of whether he should even play on Sunday, so let's see how the two-time Grand Slam champ will perform, because in terms of my prediction right here today, I'm really hoping here that despite both of these players suffering with injury problems of late, that we can see still some glimpses of the magic they possess, because it'll be amazing to see Rafa back on court again. We've got to enjoy every single minute that we have of him. We absolutely have to savour it, because of course when it comes to Carlos, we're all hoping here that we've got many years of his magic ahead of us. But I am going to back here Nadal to come out on top. I think here he's been practicing for several weeks now, ramping up the intensity. He's really been making good preparations ahead of Indian Wells, and I think here with Alcaraz coming in a bit cold, he's going to be maybe a little bit off the pace with that lack of practice. And I just think Nadal here, he will want to strike. He will want to send out just a little message to the rest of the tour. It may only be an exhibition, it may be here his first match back in a while, but he, I think, will be ready. He will want to approach this match in the best way, and I think Nadal will come out on top. But please do let me know here in the comments down below, who are you backing in this match? Who are you favouring right now, Rafa or Carlos? How do you think the match will go? Will it live up here to the billing, to the expectations? Can they overcome the injury concerns? Let's wait and see what's going to be on show in Vegas. And thank you very much indeed for tuning in today, for enjoying the video, I hope. Please do leave a like if you did, and please hit that subscribe button as well. A big thank you to all of you here, and I will see you soon on Talk Tennis.